Okay, we've got our spacer in here all the way down from where our staging is going to be, all the way along here, down to where I made our mark at the end of our number 6 turnout. This is coming into our passing siding, or passenger siding, excuse me. I'm going to grab those ties again. I'm going to lay them in here. So we're going to roll off right about there. As we come down, that's going to give me an idea of where this next piece of spline roadbed, how far down I have to come to land on our ties. When I get down here, and you know what, I mean I could be anywhere from, say, maybe, well, right in here at the tightest, about there, down to about here. So there's, you know, a good inch there that I could, one way or the other, that'd be okay. I'm just going to put a little mark here, so you got an idea. And I'm going to take another piece here, and these are just some scrap pieces laying around, and they'll get filled in here somewhere or another. And this one, oh, we probably don't want to be that far back. This one could come down somewhere in here. It seems like I'm usually about 3 inch. They're staggered usually about 3 inches or so, it looks like. And that's going to vary, of course, on the size of the turnout you're using. That's where my other one came out too. That was a number 5, and I was looking at some number 7s. Yeah, it's pretty close too. And like I say, there's a lot of give here. It'll be here. This last one, yeah, it could be way down even like right in here. So I'm going to make up a few pieces here. I'll cut them down to go from here to about right up to where we want them to go for our lengths. And I'm going to screw these all together as one piece. That way I'm going to lift them up on the back, and I'm going to screw them through in from the back here a little bit. And when I get these how I want them, I can screw them in where these stepped joints are. And I'm going to take a couple of long screws. I have some 3-inch screws that I can run all the way through, and they'll grab all the way into this center main line. One thing we do want to watch is we put these screws in. I'm going to have a crossover here, and where we have this number 6 and this number 7 turnout. And it's right under the switch point, the throw bar for the switch points. We probably don't want to have a screw there, depending on how we want to drive our points. My plan is to have a throw bar go straight down through the roadbed, so if we have a screw there, naturally it will interfere. I did run into that on a number 5 turnout I ran earlier, and it was really a simple matter of taking the screw out, moving it over ½ an inch or so, and putting it back in. But it's nice to avoid that now if we can. Okay, I've got this first piece cut, and in making these cross cuts, using a razor saw because it was handy. You can cut this stuff with just about anything. Utility knife works good. Razor saw works nice for the cross cuts. It doesn't make a whole lot of dust. You can just throw it right here on top of what you're working on. Cut away, get down close to the bottom, just lift it up. Make your last couple of cuts through. You don't have to carry it over to a workbench where you get a power saw or anything like that. So what I would want to do here, we're going to screw this on. I could just screw this right onto here. I want to go along here, and I want to screw this in from the back side some too, so that screws going both ways. So I'm going to take this, in fact this piece is a little loose too. I'm going to take one of these clamps, I'm going to throw it right here. And squeeze it on there, make sure we're pretty even or across here. Grab a couple of 1¼ inch screws so we have a sharp point sticking out on the front of the roadbed. Here we're going to lift this one up. We'll just shoot one screw in here for now. This stuff takes screws really well for paper. Put one right on the other side here. Put a few on along here. Again, I try to get screws in every 4 inches. Go 8 inches on one side, and then every 8 inches on the other side, and just stagger them 4 inches from front to back. I got one right there. Well, I had one, but I took it out. Now I got one. That's what we're after there. And since there's only one screw in this end piece, I might still want to flop a little, but not that much. Now if you're looking closely, you might see that it's a little rough going across here. Once this is all screwed down, our last step is going to, before we put ties down, is going to be to come through with a sander and sand all this down. That's when it gets a little dusty as well. I haven't found a way around that one. Thought about trying a plane, but I don't think paper will plane very well. So I'm going to make a couple more pieces for here. We'll screw them together from the back side, put some screws in on the front, and put a few screws all the way across to tie it into our main line. Then we'll come underneath, and if you can see there, maybe you can't from that angle, but we have where we have our risers here. Is that in the picture? Just on the edge. Where we have our risers here, we've got holes, and we can run a screw up from underneath. It'll bite into this road bed, it'll hold it in place. So after I screw this to the main line, I've got a few risers here where we'll catch it underneath as well. This is going to be rock solid.